Let me stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name. You break every chain.
Welcome to UCAN Studios. I am your host, Isaac Walsh, and I'm here with Master Lyle. Say good morning.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Before we get to him, and this is your first time, please help us get the word out to help people by going to Spiritual Warfare Unit on YouTube, liking and subscribing so we can get the word out. If you know someone struggling with drug addiction or alcohol, please have them go to UCANMichigan.com. UCANMichigan.com. Click on struggling. You can put their information in, and someone will help them out with mental health, housing, jobs, training, therapy, AA, NA, blah, 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 there's a bunch of them. UCANMichigan.com. Check that out. If you know someone's just struggling in life, because life sucks sometimes, have them go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on struggling. We have over 20 different nonprofits in this area to help people out with food and clothes and baby formula and churches and mental health and all kinds of stuff. Please check that out. Spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on struggling. Help us, help others. Be part of the team. All right. How are we doing this morning?
Amazing. How are you doing, sir?
Good. So you and I met at a bagel place, which was my first time, and the bagels were good.
Yes.
And
yes.
We met, and your fire and my fire was identical. And so I said, I had to have you on the show. I think it was the third thing I said to you after listening to you talk. And our mutual buddy, AJ, shout out to AJ, hooked us up, and you do what kind of karate?
I do a Korean martial arts called Tang Soo Do.
Tang Soo Do. All right, and we're going to end with you doing something called Tough Girls. If you look up on the screen and people want to check that out, that's toughgirls.com.
Tough Girls 382.
382. That's right. I even wrote it down. Toughgirls382.com. So if you guys want to check that out, we're going to get to that at the end, and that's where we're going. But you got kind of a crazy story. So you grew up where?
I grew up in Lapeer, Michigan.
Okay.
Came from a broken home. I was pretty much on my own at 16 years old.
Hold on, that's too fast. Hold on. So when did your parents get divorced?
Boy, oh boy. I was older. I was in my teens.
Okay. And what was school like growing up? Like Lapeer schools?
Lapeer schools.
Was it still East and West back then?
It was still East and West. I'm the second graduating class from East.
Okay.
So I had 2 years at West, excuse me, and then 2 years at East.
Okay.
School was rough.
Did you get picked on? Or?
Every single day.
Now, were you little?
Very little.
Very little? No sports or nothing?
Got into sports a little bit, but I was pretty much, I could have been the ball. That's how little I was. Okay? I was little.
I could have been the ball.
It's like, I tried out for football, and it's like, not going to work. They're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Not a big sports fan at all.
No soccer?
Nope, no soccer. Got into track and found out I was a distance runner. So I got into cross country not until I was in my teens.
Okay.
Elementary school, it was beat up every day. I had bad eyes, still do, but really bad back then.
Yeah.
Had the black rim glasses, like almost like a Coke bottom.
Yeah,
glass, and got beat up for that. For about 10 years, I was beat up, kicked, spit on.
Wow, because you were just a little kid?
Just because I was the oddball. I was no confidence, scared of my own shadow.
Oh, I got you.
And just growing up. So then I'd come home. I get beat up at school. Yeah. Then I'd come home and I'd pretty much get beat up and be in trouble because I got beat up. It's like, wait a second, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. I'm going to beat you for being beat.
Yeah, it's like, come on, what's wrong with you?
So you learn.
Toughen up. And it's like, man, it's like, this isn't working.
All right. So when did so your parents, you said, got divorced in your early teens?
Yeah, in my early teens, got divorced. I was pretty much on my own like I said, about 16 years old.
Now, what does that mean? You left the house?
Yeah, I left the house.
You left at 16.
Yeah, it was a broken mess at the house.
I get all that, but you leave to go where?
In my car.
Living in your car was better than living at that house.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, I ended up getting a job working at Kroger's night crew.
Okay.
My work ethic showed that, okay, this guy's got it because I was too young to work at night crew.
Yeah.
The manager and I clicked, put me on night crew, and I was working at Kroger's and going to school at the same time.
Wow.
So I'd work all night, go to school during the day.
And living in your car.
Yeah. And then very shortly, I ended up getting my first apartment right downtown Lapeer above the old dime store. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right next to the Pick Theater there.
Yeah.
So I get an apartment at 17 years old, and I graduate early because I had enough credits to just graduate and go on my own.
Okay.
So I'm still working at Kroger's night. So I get an apartment, and some friends of mine come over to my apartment.
All right.
Like, wow, man, you're like a kid in high school. It's got an apartment. So all my friends come to the apartment, and they're like, wait a second, where's your furniture? I goes, where's your apartment?
Oh,
Like,
very
no,
good.
wait a second. This is cool. I had no furniture. I had nothing.
Wow.
But I had a place
Yeah.
to live. So working at Kroger's and until probably in my 20s. But then I met my wife at 19.
All right, so at 19, was she a Kroger person as well?
Nope, just
Okay.
a friend of a friend. Friend of a friend. And
So how did it happen?
friend, my next door neighbor, she goes, hey, this girl, she needs to meet you. She wants to meet you. I'm
She
like,
needs
"What?"
to meet you.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Okay.
"What?" And I'm like, I had no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I meet her at his friend's house, and she goes, call me sometime, gave me your number. So scared to death to ask anybody out. It's like, oh my gosh. So I go to okay, it's going to really date me. I go to a payphone downtown Lapeer.
Yeah, they don't have those anymore?
And I called her up, and I said, hey, Mary, this is John. Would you like to go out?
Yeah.
She said, yes. Bye. And I hung up. Didn't say anything.
Didn't get the time, date,
No,
nothing. You're like,
no.
great, see ya. Oh my gosh. You must have been elated and then like,
I
oh
was
crap.
like, yes. Oh, wait a second. Oh, man.
So did you call back?
No, we met at a friend's house the next day.
That's so funny.
And
All right, so 19.
yeah, met at a friend's house, and she goes, hey, are we going out? I said, yeah, what time? And then it just clicked. We were, I met her, I think I was almost 18. We were married at 19. Married young.
Wow.
Married young.
But by then you had furniture, so.
No.
Oh, you still didn't have furniture?
I had my first house at 19.
First house.
First house. I got rid of my apartment.
I didn't know Kroger played that well.
Oh, they paid phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal. Okay.
All right.
So that journey went to about 23.
Mm-hmm.
We were married. Everything was great. My first wife had cystic fibrosis. Okay.
Okay.
So everything was going good, and then Kroger's, the union broke. So I was making about $13 an hour in the 70s.
That's
which
great
in the
money back then.
70s was like, what?
Yeah.
And the health insurance was phenomenal. We lost it all.
Wow.
So everything just crashed. We lost our house. We're almost ready to live back in a car again. And I have my wife has cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting a small little house downtown Lapeer. It was repoed. When we looked at it, it was like 20 grand. My father-in-law helped us get a loan for it.
Yeah.
Because we had nothing. We were actually going to be homeless again.
Were you still working at Kroger's at the time?
Nope. Kroger's let everybody go.
Okay.
And I'm getting a job at an American union, and for military. And all I did was set up parties for tables.
Okay.
That's it. All their tables set them all up for $4 an hour.
That sounds horrible.
It was horrible.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Like list of things not to do, note to self.
Like, but I'm going to get a job. I got to support my wife somehow.
Yeah.
We got to eat.
You got to do what you got to do.
So we get this little house, and it's repoed. The plumbing's ripped out. Everything is we have nothing in this house. And it's like the size of this room house.
But you did it before.
Yeah, we did it before. So here I am. I'm going to be homeless again, but I don't have a wife instead of just me.
Yeah.
Who has an illness.
Yeah.
So we go in this house, and it's full of bikes.
Bikes.
I'm like, what?
Was someone like stealing them and storing
The
them there?
neighborhood gang was
Shut
stealing
up.
bikes, and they were inside there.
Nice.
So we end up befriending the gang in the area, and they helped us move all the bikes out.
No kidding. Now, were you doing karate at this time?
Yes. I got into karate at 17 years old.
Okay.
And what happened was I was tired of being beat up. I was really tired of being beat up.
Yeah.
And after 10 years of it, it's like, okay, I want to learn how to fight. Well, back in the day, there's no karate.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I get a paper that's handed to me. It's just, and all it is, it says karate in a basement. That's it.
Karate in a basement.
And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. And the reason I was looking for karate is at a friend's house, and I watched a guy on TV named Bruce Lee. He's little, I'm little. I watched him do amazing things in the Green Hornet show, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if he can do that.
You know, he was only on for 6 episodes on
I
that?
know.
I thought it was way
No,
longer.
Kato should have been on more. But
Right.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
But-
so you go to the basement.
Well, what I did was I saw that, and I'm like, wait a second. If he can do that, I can do that.
Right.
I still can't do what he did. All right. And so, anyways, I'm like, I got to find karate.
Yeah.
Where there's no karate. So I get this thing. So it says, go down a dark road, down a dark driveway, walk into a dark garage, and just walk into the house.
Yeah, and you won't get beat up.
Would you do that today?
Well, it's a different world back then.
Really?
You know.
So I drive in there, and it's black, and I hear screaming and yelling, and I'm like, so I walk in, I open the door to the house.
Yeah.
And I just walk into the house, into the basement.
Nice.
So I walk in the basement. There's 2 people knocked out. There's 2 throwing up, and there's
It's
2
Fight Club.
blood all over. And I'm like, I'm home.
He's like, I know that smell. It's just not mine.
This is my world.
Nice.
And it
No
wasn't
kidding.
It wasn't karate. It was a fight club.
It was a Fight Club.
And I got beat up even worse then, but it was different because I was learning.
Right.
But that was 47 years ago. I never left.
No kidding.
And the bullying stopped. I'm guessing I probably noticed it about a couple of years in.
So at 19.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it. I'm like, wait a second. I'm not being picked on anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not being beat up anymore. And I'm like, I didn't realize that the martial arts changed who I was, the persona, the way I walked, the way I talked, the way I moved my body.
Yeah.
And when I teach my ladies in self-defense class and that, it's how you're on a mission when you walk.
Yeah.
And see, bad guys want easy targets.
Right.
And I was an easy target back in the day for years.
Yeah.
So then we had a class reunion way, way, way back in the day, and people found out I was in karate. I really didn't brag about it.
Yeah.
They thought, oh man, we're gonna go to this one because it's gonna be a brawl.
Yeah.
You know, John's gonna come back and beat up all the bullies. And this is where I learned that God had my back.
Okay.
Because 10 years of going through just physical, ridiculous mental, and I never really wanted to get back at him. I never wanted to be like revenge and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it was a part of my life, okay? So I go to this reunion, and an amazing thing happened. You know, it was just an amazing lesson. We had some of the guys who beat me up come up and apologize.
Wow.
I'm like, man, John.
We heard you're doing karate, and we'd like to know we are really sorry.
They said, you know, we were idiots. And man, we were so sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, no worries, no worries. And then one of them became my brother, my best friend, and actually lived with my first wife. And for
Wow.
years.
One of your former bullies.
Yep. Just
Wow.
became best friends.
Man.
Okay? And that's all God. That's all.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
So the martial arts brings me through, and I start leaning on it now because it helped me through some, you know, life is hard. It's going to give you some ups and downs. If you're going to get out there and live your life.
Oh, you're going to get beat down sometimes.
You're going to get beat up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to happen.
That's just not the point.
Physically or mentally.
Right.
So I'm going through this, and.
All right, hold on. I got to cut you out. We're already to our first break. All right? So if this is your first time, please like, share, and subscribe. Master Lyle, you sit tight. We are going to be right back. In a quick break from our podcast, I wanted to let you know about our life application program that we have for churches and nonprofits in the area that are trying to find programming that they can use in case the corona shuts you down and you're not able to get in. You go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. You click on our episodes, and you can check out our programs for as little as $29.99 a month to make sure that we're still getting the word out to those people that need it. Now, back to the program. All right, welcome back to UCAN Studios. I am your host, Isaac Walsh, and I'm here with Master Lyle, and he is here on behalf of Tough Girls 382. And if you want to check that out, toughgirls382.com. You can check out the stuff on there, which is very cool, and we'll get to that. But we now tied in the karate, and we tied in now to the marriage and your wife. So now we're about 23, and you got the cool thing, and that is very cool. That I got to be honest, if I've ran into a couple of my bully because I was the short kid, and after I got out of the military, and it did not turn out that way. So I did hold a grudge, and I was a bad person, and I admit that, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I enjoyed it, because I did, because, again, I'm a bad person. So anyways, I'm actually friends with a couple of those guys now, but
Nice.
we had to get to that come to Jesus moment. But
Amen.
and so you're 23, you Kroger goes. You got a sick wife. You get a house full of bikes. How did you befriend the gang? You're just like, hey, I got your bikes, and for $19.95, like
They're just kids.
oh, no kidding.
Kids. You know, so I'm going out to these guys, and I'm the new kid on the block, and they're like, okay, we got this weirdo guy taking over our place and all that. And I say, hey, guys, need some help. They're like, what? I need some help. What do you need? I said, I'm going to give you guys like $10. We need to get these bikes out of here. All right. And they're like, really? I said, yep, got to have them out. Sorry, guys. I'm taking over the house. They're like, all right, cool. Didn't call the police, didn't do anything.
Yeah, and you gave them money to get their
Gave
bikes.
money to get their bikes out of there. They actually was really cool because we were in that house about 7 years and really became good friends with these kids and watched them grow up. Some of them kind of went hard, and a lot of them broke away from it. You know, just befriending them. You know, we had neighbors that would call the police every second they walked across their lawn, and I would tell them, they're going to come and get you. And they did. Every Halloween, their house was trashed.
Yeah.
Mine was never touched.
Right.
You know, they're just people. They're just looking for attention and,
Right.
you know, some love.
Yeah, they want to be cared for.
Yep.
Right.
So we were there. We were there about 7 years, and moved out of there. Got another house. Still moved from there in Lapeer. Still in Lapeer.
Yeah.
And ended up getting into meat cutting. Believe it or not.
Now, so you go from Kroger to parties to meat cutting.
Yeah, American Legion Hall. You know, putting up tables for 400 people by myself.
No.
For $4 an hour. My mother-in-law says, "Hey, you want to know how to cut meat?" She said, "There's a guy down here in Metamora that heard about your work ethic." And I'm like, "What? I got a work ethic? I didn't even know what that was back in the day."
Yeah.
So I'm sure, learned how to cut meat, became a top meat cutter, and ended up bringing my best friend with me and got him in there and cut
All
meat.
because they heard you were a good worker.
And that was it. And I'm just like, wow. And it worked. So I ended up making a little bit more money, got a little bit better house. And then when I'm in the meat market about 7 years later, and a guy comes walking in and he says, "Hey, I work for an insurance company. Heard a lot about you." And I'm like, "I cut meat."
All right, hold on a second. Back up. We got to connect the dots on this. So you got the better house.
Yep.
And you said that was in downtown Lapeer.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're still taking care of your wife. Was she doing anything at the time?
Yep. No, not at all. Not
Okay.
at all.
All right. So you're doing the meat cutting. Did you hear how they heard?
Nope.
Like, so was it? And you're doing karate at this time?
Yes, just started. We're just starting to get into it more and more. We're doing about 3 hours a night, couple nights a week.
Now, did you have a school at this
No,
time?
not at
Okay.
all,
So you're
not at
just
all.
really into the
Still
lifestyle.
Into the lifestyle, into the basement, and just really, we started, we didn't really get into it till about 10 years later. We were like, then we went really crazy with it.
All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm working a different job, trying to make ends meet,
Yeah.
trying to keep my karate going.
And what year did you do the meat cutting? Like, what year did that start?
Oh, man, that had to been early 90s.
Early 90s, and this is just for a local.
Yep,
beef
local
cutter?
meat. Yep. Local
All
meat.
right, so is there something about meat cutting that we should know that most people wouldn't know?
It was a blast.
Cutting meat's a
I
blast.
just loved it. I loved it. Work with knives. Come on. Really? Come on.
Why doesn't that part surprise me? There were sharp things, and we
There
got
were
to
sharp
cut stuff.
things and bandsaws.
Wow.
And it was basically what I learned about meat cutting, which is sad today. It's an art.
Really?
It is a skill. We took it from the hoof. They would bring it in from the hoof. And very few places do that now.
Now, what does from the hoof mean?
They would bring in a whole quarter cow and hang it in there, and here's this great big, quarter
Like
cow.
you'd have a giant leg and a hip.
Yep, and you got a blade, and you go in and you start cutting it apart, and you turn this leg into these beautiful steaks that you see in there today.
Wow.
And
You must have been eating good.
it was awesome.
Oh, man.
'Cause I'm a meat eater anyway.
Yeah. No, honey, sirloin again. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, so you're doing that, and you loved it. It sounds like you're the type of person when you do something, you get in it. You're just a 100% person.
100%. If you're going to do something, I always tell everybody, what's the first thing you think about when you pull into work, when you shut your car off, you pull the key out? If it's dread, change it, because you're not helping you or that business.
Right.
All right. When you go there, I don't care if you're sweeping floors. You give it all you have.
Right.
Everything. Because somebody will notice, especially in today's day.
Yeah.
And somebody will take you from them.
Yeah, I'm just an all-in person.
Yeah, you have to be.
And if you're not, I get it, but I am.
You have to be.
And people that are, we recognize each other, and people that aren't, we recognize each other. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't want to be around that guy. That guy's on all the time. And you know how it is. You're like, your energy just, like people just
always
like,
on.
Yeah. And
Always
they're like,
on.
you're exhausting. I'm like, am I? Or, we need to up the water a little here. Yeah. But all right. So, no, that part's cool. So you go into that, and you said you did that 7 years?
7 years.
All right. So you said you started in the early 90s?
Yep. Yep. Probably around in there somewhere. Yep. Early 90s.
All right. So you finished in the late 90s, 97, 98, 99?
Probably
All right.
right around there somewhere.
So you're doing that, and are you in crazy karate at this point?
We're crazy. We're kicking butt and taking it. I mean, we're just hitting it hard.
Okay.
More ourselves, just fighting hard. We became the top fighters in the area. We started doing tournaments.
Really? What was that like?
Oh, I got my butt kicked for years.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm back at the beginning. I'm getting beat up again here. But,
Learned all this stuff to suck some more.
I used to come home with my first wife, and I was bruised from head to toe. I mean, bruised.
Yeah.
Head to toe. And my wife would tease me. She's like, you're paying for this.
Yeah.
That's what's different. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Not only did I get beat up, I made sure I gave good hard money to look like I got beat up. That's
Good heart.
Oh,
You're going to love this. They had a cigar box in the basement.
Nice.
And you would walk in and put $3 in the box. It was $1 an hour.
So you're literally paying to fight.
Yep.
That's
Paying to fight.
the smile on your face when you said that.
Gosh.
That's beautiful.
But it really is what I found what helped me. I was always looking for something. I got beat up, and I really didn't know how to fight, and I tried to fight back, and I got beat up worse.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, I need some help with this.
Right.
So I need to find something. And then it was 10 years before I figured it out. I had to go find some karate. I didn't realize it until I watched Bruce Lee on TV. And then, so I'm going through the meat market, still doing karate. Well, then a guy comes walking in, and it was kind of like my mother-in-law again. She was amazing. And she told this guy, she's like, listen, he was going to retire. She's like, you need to go see my son-in-law. So he come walking into the meat market, and he gave me a card. And he's like, would you be interested in the insurance business? And I'm like,
Yeah, that's a switch. Yeah.
what? It's like, he goes, I think you'd be really good at it. So I'm cutting meat for 7 years, but I'm pretty much at the top of the pay scale. And I was always hungry for more.
Yeah.
All right. And my boss at the meat market was, I had phenomenal bosses at Kroger, phenomenal guys, man, just phenomenal leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, all right. I said, I'll go check it out. He goes, you got to take a test,
Oh, okay.
aptitude test. And I'm like, all right. And he said, if you pass that,
So what was the aptitude test?
it was more about your work ethic, your personality.
Oh, it was a personality
Yeah,
test.
basically what it was.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I do all these numbers. I was
Wait, let me guess. A-type?
100%. And they came back and he's like, we want you.
Yeah, right.
But here was the kicker. Here's the kicker. It's all commission. I'm making a really good wage now. My wife's starting to, CFers is the #1 killer of young children, okay?
Wow.
And she's in her 20s. Her life
Right.
goal is to see 30,
I can understand that.
okay?
Yeah.
So I talked to my wife, and I'm just like, man, it's a risk.
Right.
I'm going to leave a job. They're going to give me a couple of months of pay, and then it's 100% commission.
Right.
If I crash and burn,
Yeah, we're screwed.
here we are
Yeah.
again. We've already been down that road a couple times.
Right.
So it's like, let's go for it.
Let's do it.
So the insurance company said, you got this. You can do this. So Dan, his name was Dan White, probably one of the best managers I've ever had in my entire life.
Okay.
Side by side, gave me the ins and outs.
Okay.
Okay. And I really strongly believe in the right leadership will take you where you want to go.
Right.
Okay. And the first year, I led the company. The first year. And everybody said, oh, he's a flash in the pan.
Your first 12 months.
Led the company.
Okay.
In the insurance company.
Just by doing what he said and
Yep.
following it? And
Following it and doing what he said. Okay. So now my first wife, Mary, she's getting sicker.
Right.
She goes to Lansing a lot more.
Yeah.
Insurance company gave me freedom. So God knew what he was doing.
Right.
Because it gave me freedom to go down there with her, stay with her.
Yeah.
Okay. As she's starting to get more sick.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, he's a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not understanding your drive and why you're doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
7 years later, I led the company.
Yeah.
Every year. The cool thing about it was
Hold on, it was 7 years again you stayed?
7 years.
Wait a minute.
I know.
And the one before that was 7 years.
7 years,
right?
yeah.
And then
7 years.
before that,
7 years.
it was 7 years.
7 years. Yep, 7 years.
I'm not smart, but I'm sensing a pattern. And, that's super funny. So 7 years. So let's see, that would have met early 2000s.
Yeah,
2003, 2004.
Yep. We're in
All right,
2000.
so she's getting sicker, and you're leading the company year by
Yep.
year by year.
And what's cool about it is when you win all these awards in the insurance company for sales and that, and it wasn't the awards that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They send you on these unbelievable conventions back in the day.
Okay.
So
Like a trip somewhere or something?
everywhere, and they give you the best everything. So my first wife got to see the world
Really?
in style
How many times a year are you doing this?
once a year.
Okay.
Once a year. Okay.
Wow.
So she got to travel a lot. Well, then as she's getting sicker, it's like, okay, she ended up getting what they call Sapacea, which is another level of CF,
Man.
and it's devastating. Boys live a couple years.
Yeah.
Girls, a year.
Wow.
So she's 29.
Right.
And she gets this called Sapacea. And she goes, I'm done with the hospitals.
Right.
I said, okay. All right. She goes, I'm going to stay home now.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I quit the company, insurance company.
Wow.
It took 1 year off of work. I
Wow.
became her hospice nurse
Wow.
because she didn't want nurses. I learned how to do all the IVs. She got a Portland, all of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a gift from God
Really?
to be there for her for a year. The karate, still training. We just started doing some schools, some elementary schools, and that. So not really much income, but we had saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
With the insurance company, did really well. So when I left the insurance company, they didn't know I was in karate. So I put my resignation in, and they're like, "What are you doing?
Yeah, you're the number one guy.
What are you doing? What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?" But I got to back up a little bit. We were in Arizona at a town called Rawhide on a convention.
It's seriously called Rawhide?
Rawhide town. Yeah, it's a tourist. It's a tourist
Okay,
thing.
of course it is.
So the last year they told me they want me to go to management in the insurance company,
Okay.
and I didn't see myself as a manager yet. So
You didn't want to have a blue shirt and tan pants?
I just didn't think it was me. Yeah.
You don't come across a
No,
blue shirt and a tan
man.
pancake.
So I said, I don't know. They said, well, I had the biggest book in the company.
Oh, hold on. Dang it. Before you get into this, because I want the whole story, we have to go to our next break. Man, this is going by super fast. Please check out toughgirls382.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Aaron with UCAN. We're out here at our third annual golf outing here in the Genesee Valley Meadows. So, really good day. We have a great number of teams, great sponsorship, great people. We're hoping for a great time. The weather's good. So, we appreciate all the support we get at all of our events. It helps us fight the fight that we fight. So, thank you all. Stay the course.
It's a lot of fun with a good cause. This is a very good cause, and I enjoy doing it. And my son's with me today, and we're just going to have fun. We know we're not going to win, but we're going to have fun.
Oh, today is an awesome day today. This is our fourth or fifth one here, and can't thank UCAN enough for what they do, especially on this situation where they have this outing, Mark and Debbie and all of them. It's just an amazing outing, and I couldn't think of
They do a
it
good
brings
job
back
putting this
memories,
together.
but it's a wonderful thing, and we really appreciate it.
All right, welcome back to UCAN Studios. I am your host, Isaac Wallace, and I'm here with Master Lyle, and he was just getting into the tough bits on his story. So you had taken a year off, and you said one of the best things that you got to do was spend that year with your wife. What made that so special?
Just to be with her and help her through all this stuff.
Yeah.
To back up a little bit, we're at the insurance company, and
Rawhide.
yeah, we go to this Rawhide, this town in Arizona.
Yeah.
All right. And they told me when they come back, they said, we want you to go to manager. And I didn't want it because I have the biggest book in the company.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, when you come back, if you don't want to be a manager, we're going to cut your book. And that means I make less money.
Yeah.
Start all over again. It's kind of like almost a push. You're going to go to manager.
Yeah, you do what we say or we take your toys.
Yep.
It's
So
like
they
a
said-
bully.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, I think we're done. So I told my wife, we went to Rawhide. So we're in this jewelry store in this town. It's like all the turquoise jewelry.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is a God thing. So we walk in there, my wife and I, and the guy looks right at me. He goes, I've been where you're at. I know what you're going through. Don't do it.
What?
And I'm like, what? Get out of the corporate world. Don't do it. And we're standing there looking at this guy.
Did you talk to him or something?
We walked into a jewelry store. He goes, I've had 3 heart attacks. I've been there, done that. I do this now. I love it.
Wow.
Do what you love.
No
And I
kidding.
know you got something you love.
You just had this look that he was like, I know that look.
I'm like, what? So we left.
yeah.
Came back. I turned in my resignation to the insurance company. They were very angry.
Wow, not thanks for your service.
Nope. Wouldn't let any kind of go party. No party at all. They said, nope, he's gone. He's out of here.
Wow.
They didn't know I was in karate. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I think I'm going to go into the karate for a living. They laughed.
Yeah, I'm
They're
sure.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And he goes, when did you start doing karate? He goes, I've been doing it for eons. They're like, what? Nobody knew.
Yeah.
You don't brag about it, you know?
Yeah.
So
no, you
nobody
do
knew
it or
about
don't do it.
So that year off was an unbelievable gift.
Yeah.
To be her nurse, to be there to do all of her IVs,
Yeah.
to really, just tight. And it was her last year.
Yeah.
She died a few days after, in my arms, her 30th birthday. So she hit her goal.
Yes.
Hit her goal.
Boy, that makes me feel so good.
And one of the last things she told me was, she said, stay in karate.
So then you got to do it,
And
right?
I got to do it. Well, then she said something else. It's weird.
Yeah.
She said, I want you to stay in karate. She goes, I know where I'm going. We're both believers. She said, I don't want to leave you because you're going to be a mess. She goes, you got a couple years. You're going to be dark. It's going to be bad.
What?
And then she said, you're going to come out. You're going to meet somebody who's going to kind of beat you up a little bit. She goes, that's not the one for you. She goes, you're going to meet somebody who has 2 kids, and you're going to be an amazing father. Because we never had kids. We couldn't have kids. I'm like, no, I want to talk about that. So she ended up.
She told you all this.
Yep. And she came up to me and she put her head on my shoulder. She said, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And
That
she
was
was in
it.
a coma. That was it. And she passed away.
Mm.
And then it happened. I went through a 2-year mess.
What happened?
I ended up just getting depressed. And even though I'm still doing karate and
Well, she said you were going to be. How does she know that?
what blew me away.
She's telling you about your future before it happened.
Yeah.
You realize that's what you just said.
Yep.
That makes no sense.
Nope. So I start going through this, and just because 1 year I spent with her, here's all this extra time now.
Yeah.
So I was involved in the church at the time,
Yeah.
sit on boards and different things like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And haven't been going for a few months. So she passes away. We had a 110-pound German Shepherd, was my best buddy.
110.
Yeah, he was an amazing shepherd. Oh my gosh. He gets hit by a car a few weeks after her death.
Oh, no.
Lose her. Then I get a letter from the church that said, we haven't seen you in a few months. You're no longer a member here.
What?
And
Wow. Bang, bang, bang.
I this is hard to say, but I stepped away from God.
Yeah, I can see why that would be a hammer.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So I, 2 years, no Christmases, no family, nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years. Still doing the karate a little bit and still working with some kids.
Yeah.
Basically starving to death. Here I am again.
Yeah.
Back. Her
Right
aunt,
down in the pit.
Yep. My aunt's, my wife's aunt would leave a package of food on my garage. And that when I pulled in from karate, I get to eat today.
Wow.
Today. I wasn't eating.
Was it just stress and depression, or?
Yeah, I think it was everything. Just lost, dark, and just threw myself in a whirl. It was all pity, I think. Just threw myself in a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Left God, and I had a really, really, really good friend of me. She come up to me and she's like, "You're so much better than this.
Okay.
You're so much better." And something clicked with that. Shortly after, I get invited to a Promise Keeper.
What is that? A promise?
Promise Keeper back in the day was a 25,000 men group that you see in Ford Hall. I mean, all these big
Oh, wow.
halls.
Okay.
So it was all about bringing men to Christ. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I'll go."
Yeah.
I go to this thing, bawl my stinking eyes out. I'm hearing these guys' stories,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, what? I was like, you kidding me? Bawling my eyes out,
Yeah.
asked God for forgiveness, came back to Christ. And I look at how my life shifted almost immediately.
Really? Was it 2 years?
Yeah, it was 2 years.
Oh, man.
Met a girl, wasn't good.
Not the one.
Few months after. No,
You're freaking me out a little bit right now.
No. And then, so the karate schools are starting to go. We're putting more into it.
Yeah.
We had some good, some bad. Putting more kids in. Next thing you know, I got like hundreds of kids coming to the karate program.
Yeah.
And this lady walks in, and my son, when I met him, he was 6 years old.
Do not tell me she had 2 kids.
She had 2 kids,
Shut up.
a boy and a girl. She
Oh,
come
my
in,
gosh.
And she winked at me, and that was
That was it.
done.
All right, hold on.
Oh my
Now-
gosh.
To be clear, he told me about the wink, and I said, "You can't tell me the story anymore beforehand," because I wanted to know this, and I wanted this to be real.
Man.
You're making my eye water. All right. What was how everybody gets winked at? Like, what was like that? Like, what?
It was special. Something clicked.
A special wink?
Clicked. It was.
What?
It just like, what? And I looked at her, and so the epiphany didn't hit me till
So you had like a
later.
mental, how you doing? Look, from the wink.
Yeah.
You're making my glasses fog up.
So,
2 kids.
yep, 2 kids.
Oh
So we
my
hit it
gosh.
off like that.
No way.
That was 30 years ago. Tomorrow will be our 20th wedding anniversary.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, we dated for about 10 years. I was slow. All right.
Well, of course.
That
I
was
imagine you're
slow.
like, I'm not about to get my head ripped out of my body and my heart ripped out of my body again.
But she was definitely the one. The kids have become mine. And then we had one together, so we have 3.
Yeah.
And for years later, I had an epiphany like, wait a second. My first wife talked about
Predicted.
everything.
How do you make
everything.
that make sense?
I don't know. It's
Like, I'm
God.
processing right now. My brain has got like 6 more questions I want to ask, but I'm not sure because we don't have time to get the story. But like, how you had to be wigging out. Were you like, hey, by the chance you have 2 kids? Like,
No, I didn't. It didn't even click. So we get together. We start
wait, you weren't even thinking about it?
No.
I would have never. I would have rolled all that down and been like, it wasn't according to the plan.
And we sat down and we had our first date, and it just clicked, and we just took off from there. Just ran from there. We just hooked up together. I mean, it was crazy. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. People always say, I always thought my first wife, you only get one love. Wrong. God takes care of you. You
Yeah.
follow him, he'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Because she was my first love.
Yeah.
Went through a nightmare. I walked away from God, and it was bad.
Yeah.
So I know when God's not in my life, I know what it looks like.
Right.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And then when I came to God, I could see the line. Whoa. Karate schools, wife, children, family. It's like, whoa.
What about church? You like found a new place? And all
Yeah,
that?
yep. Just find new places, bounce around a couple different churches, finding a home.
Yeah.
And then just took off. Started doing more programs with the church, like the Tough Girls or Watchmen, different places, things like that.
Yeah.
And it just took off.
Wow. So, and this is in what years? Because I got a feeling.
Oh my goodness.
So it's post 2003.
Yeah. Yep.
And you said 10 years to 2013.
Yep.
All right. The reason why I want to ask that question, because right in between the 2003 and 2013 was this huge depression in 2008. And you didn't even mention that as an issue.
Another crash and burn.
Oh, there was another one.
Another crash and burn.
I knew
Another
there
crash
was
and burn. Schools are doing great.
Yeah.
All the programs are
08.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
08. We had a fleet of vans. We were doing after-school pickup programs. We had 6 vans going to all over the communities, picking up kids. Life was phenomenal.
Yeah.
08, 09 comes, crashes it.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole world stopped.
Everything. Had to sold off the vans off.
Wow.
Everything stopped. And when you look at, I've been in karate for 47 years.
Yeah.
And you look at the last 32 have been full-time, 35 full-time karate.
Yeah.
Okay. And people come to me and say, what do you do for a living? I say, martial arts. And they're like, no, what do you do for a living? What
Yeah.
else?
No, I heard that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have been all over the world
Yeah.
doing karate. I've been on the Great Wall of China, in Wales.
Wait, you've been actually on the Wall of China?
Yeah, we did karate on the wall.
All right. What did that look like?
It was amazing.
Sounds amazing.
We got up
How
on
did you
the-
get cleared? Oh, you know what we're doing this week? We're just going to walk the Wall of China. Largest wall in the world. We're doing that.
We got up on the wall and we got up on the edge, and it's a 5,000-foot drop off. the edge.
5,000 foot.
And we're doing a martial arts form, which is going back and forth. And we were getting yelled at by the Korean security, like, they must have been saying, look at those crazy Americans. They're going to die today.
Yeah, right.
All right. But yeah, I've been to Wales, been all over it. We have schools in India now.
That view had to be just extraordinary. 5,000 feet straight down?
Yeah. It's
oh, my gosh.
amazing.
It sounds amazing.
You know,
What the heck are we doing there?
tournaments. We had tournaments. We got picked. We got picked on a tour back in the day. The 100 top martial artists from the country, and for some reason I got in on that. I have no idea how I got in on that. I got invited, and it was a tour. We got to go through Seoul, Korea,
Yeah.
Beijing, China, and then took over with the Buddhist temples and train with some of these crazy guys, and then get up on the wall.
All right, hold on. When we come back for a break, I want to hear about the crazy guys, because you can't just say crazy guys. All right. Like, share, and subscribe. Sit tight. We're going to be right back.
I'm really impressed with the teachings that Isaac has been bringing to us, as this is all based from Proverbs.
I like it because it's simple, and it doesn't matter who you are. It's very easy to understand and apply to your life.
You know, it points out, my bad parts, and, but it's showing me how to do the good parts. And, I'm trying to apply that and, make a better life for myself, because I'm tired of where I've been.
It's impacted a lot of the guys as they continue to talk and ask questions after the meetings, as they speak to one another regarding the meeting and the messages and the topics that are being brought up, which are down-to-earth topics of situations and things that we live with on a day-to-day basis.
He takes the Bible and he breaks it down into simple terms and where you can understand. And like I said before, sometimes a lot of churches, even the Salvation Army, sometimes we start using these big words that people don't understand, like even saying someone got saved. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean when you say someone got saved? And it's accepting Jesus into your heart. So it's like words like that we use that people don't understand.
It's just very interesting how he points out, the different things of, the sin part, and then he comes back with the, how to make it better, and he just points it out. It's there. I didn't know all this stuff was in there, but now that he's pointing it out, it's like, wow, I guess if you really dig into the Bible, you find these things.
This is a daily moral standards that we can live by, that the teachings are coming from. And honestly, we can take verse by verse as what he's done, and pretty much he's done the hard work for us, and now laying it out so that we have an easier understanding.
There's some people who don't like to be in Bible classes, but this one seems to get their attention.
Welcome back to UCAN Studios. I am your host, Isaac Walsh. This is Spiritual Warfare Unit, and our podcast is The Warrior's Way, and I'm here with our Warrior of the Week, Master Lyle, and he is here on behalf of Tough Girls 382, which we're going to get in here in about 6 minutes, but I want to know what the crazy guys was, because like if you got people flying across, like, you know, Destiny Sword and that kind of thing, and that's real, I need to know at this moment. Like, that's what I need to know, because I watch those movies and I like them. Is that like a thing?
That is a thing.
No!
Every cheesy kung fu movie on the planet, and I love them.
Yeah, me too.
And you watch how these guys train in these movies. That's how I was brought up.
Can they do that stuff?
Some of it. Yeah, some of the floating stuff, no. But But you look at the things on one head.
Are you sure? I just want. Okay.
The stuff that they can do it upside down, and the power and the focus, I mean, is amazing.
Yeah.
What they break through, and the physical part of it and the mental part is just amazing.
Like the punching of the trees and all
everything.
that? Oh,
We've done all that. Back in the day, the reason I got so beat up and bruised, they would take a shinai, which is a cane, and they would beat us with them.
They'd beat you with a cane. You paid to be beat with a cane.
Kind of like block, and they would use them to say, this is going to toughen you up. You know, they would just beat us with sticks and canes, and we would break bricks. You would take fingertips into big things of pea gravel. So I grew up what you saw in the kung fu movies.
All right, so last question, because I have to ask this. I would be upset with myself in this. So, blood sport.
Blood sport.
Can he actually hit the brick on the bottom through the top? Or is that just movie magic?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I'm not going to say you can't.
You're saying experience hasn't taught you that
but
yet.
I have seen bricks where you've hit and the lower ones will crack. I have seen that.
So push energy through the brick to make it crack.
I've seen the bottom ones crack, especially wood.
I got to be honest. When I saw that, I'm like, that's got to be bull crap. I mean, it's got to be. It's cool if that's so they can get through one brick. That's interesting. The energy push.
Yeah, it can get there. I've seen it crack on the bottom. I have no idea why, but I've seen it. I haven't seen it like the blood.
I had to ask. Yeah, because you know it explodes and he's like, what? You know, and the whole thing and all that. All right, so you're doing this stuff. Your wife comes. You go through. You lose. How much did you lose during 08 and 09 there?
Oh, we lost half our school.
And how big a school was it?
Big. Our schools usually run 150, 200 people at a crack.
Wow, she lost 100 people.
Yeah, really quick, like overnight.
Wow.
And then it was years. It was a struggle after that. Struggle all the way up into where we're at pretty much now. So we're finally starting to get back and going again. We're starting to see a little bit of light of the day.
Yeah.
But nothing like it was before 08 and 09.
All right, and you're in Davison, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Professional Karate Schools of America, and that's in Davison.
Correct.
Okay. So you're doing this, and through this time, you're getting all this stuff, and your wife and your family, and everything's getting better, and everything your wife predicted came true.
Yes. Everything.
And you say that like I just ordered like a burger.
Yeah.
But that's just nuts.
It is crazy, but everything, and I've kept on that same path because it's like, okay, she saw it.
It was already there.
Yeah, she saw where it's going. I didn't realize it till years in.
Yeah.
So we get through our 08 or 09, so all right, we made it through. So we crashed here, made it through, just starting to get strong, and then COVID comes in. And COVID was a game changer for the martial art world.
Okay.
All right. We spun it pretty quick, taught online for about a year, but COVID wanted our building that we were in for 17 years. Okay. So we had to let the building go.
No.
So we lost everything. So here I am. This was
this is 20. When was that? 2 years ago?
A couple of years ago. Yep.
Yeah.
So the Thanksgiving was our last time in the school, and I announced it to the handful that were left. We had only about 30 people left.
Wow.
And we actually walked away.
Hold on. Thanksgiving?
We walked away.
Wow.
So about 3 months, it's like, okay, Lord, all of the gifts that you have given me, all the martial art gifts, the tools, the energy, and I believe I'm here for a purpose to help keep your gifts to mankind safe, which are children and women. And we abused those gifts.
Right.
And I believe one of my strengths from him is that. And here I am sitting at home, and I have one child at home and my wife, and I'm thinking, we're lose everything. I have no income. It's like, well, I'll flip burgers. I know how to work. I'll find a way.
Yeah.
So for a couple of months.
I will survive.
Yeah,
right?
I will survive. I'm going to believe in him. You got a path. I said, Lord, if it's not karate, that's fine. fine, I don't care. If you want to send me someplace, let's go. I'm ready to go.
Can I just say something to you before you tell me the rest of this? If I was in your spot and someone says, "Why do you believe in God?" I would tell them that story about my wife every single time, and then go, "Don't try it," because you can't make that make sense.
You can't. No, not at all. It doesn't. No.
Now I want to hear the rest of it, but that would be like, for me, I have this thing. It's the before and after moment is what I call it. Before this thing happened,
Yep.
maybe you could have tested me.
Yep.
After this, I'm gonna forget about it.
Correct.
And that's that before and after. Like, I get goosebumps sitting there thinking about it. All right, tell me the rest of it, but that's
All right. So a couple of months go by, and I tell my wife, it's like, we're going into Christmas. And
Yeah.
Probably one of the hardest Christmases we've ever had together. It's like, I think we're done. I don't think the Lord wants us in karate anymore. I said, I'm looking at probably getting another job somewhere. I don't know what it looks like.
Right.
You know, and then we get a phone call from a church. And they're like, "Hey, Master Lyle, we have a gym. If you're interested, we kind of saved it for you because we saw that you lost your school." And I'm like, "What?"
Saved it for you.
I goes,
That's funny.
I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
You know, we're downtown Davison in the
Yeah,
Baptist church. I said, "Okay, sure. Can you come down and look at it?" I said, "Sure." So I come in. It's this 7,000 square foot of awesomeness. And she said, "Would you like this?" And I'm
Would
like,
you like it?
"Yeah." I said, "Please."
Yeah.
So we get in there and we have 30 students. 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, Lord," I said, I'm in your house now.
Yeah.
Your
You gave me
house.
7,000 square feet. Let's fill
Your
this
house.
sucker.
So there's nothing. It's hard floor. So the ones who stayed were some old dogs. And they're like, "Man, this floor, we're in tennis shoes. It's beating us up."
Yeah.
So I told my wife, I said, "All right, we're already in debt up to our eyeballs because of COVID."
Yeah.
And it's like, I have to take us in debt further. She's like, "What?" I said, "I'm going to order a brand." I gave our old floor and mirrors away because I didn't think we were going to.
Yeah.
So I gave it to karate schools. I gave it to them if they wanted it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had nothing. And I said, I need to order a floor. So we have a special floor, new age. Put it this way, I could have bought a brand new Tahoe for the price of this floor. But I thought, it's an investment. I'm trusting that God has a plan and he still wants me to do this.
Yeah.
So we buy this floor about 6-7 months later, and then we start getting more students. And within 2 years, we have surpassed the number we had in our old schools.
The 200.
Blew it away.
Really?
Blew it away.
Okay.
We're almost to the point to where it's like we're going to have to we only have 3 or 4 registrations a year now to get in our program. And so it's all God. People ask me, goes, "What do you do for marketing?"
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
They're like, "What?"
Yeah, like when people go, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working for Jesus."
Yeah, I don't
know. He makes it.
We don't put ads out.
Yeah, I just move forward.
We move forward.
Yeah.
And he keeps filling our buckets and filling our buckets.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly right.
And I'm like, wow.
It's the worst bottle plan in the whole world.
Yeah,
How are you going to work this out? I don't know. We're just moving this way
because
because
like the wine buckets. He keeps filling it. Get a new bucket.
Isn't that awesome, though? My favorite thing, you're sitting with your wife and you're like, "Listen, you're not going to believe what just happened." But this just happened. It's so much fun, right?
And it is. So I'm looking at, all right, Lord, thank you. I kept the faith.
Yeah.
And sure, we're going ups and downs, and sure, we're going to get tested, and sure, we're going to have life. But you know what? I've been to the side without him.
Yeah. That's
and
no
I've
good.
Been to the side with him.
Yeah.
I'm never going back to this side.
No.
Never. I don't care what anybody says.
It's not worth it.
No. So we are moving in a phenomenal direction, and my heart's been tugged on different programs. We had talked about the Watchman, where it's father son, programs for churches.
Which you will see me with your shirt on again. You were very happy about that, but I really like that. I actually want to find out who made that, and we got some toys for you today too afterwards.
I love it.
But I wanted to make sure. So when did you come up with the Tough Girl 382, and why 382?
We came up with Tough Girls. I've been doing women's self-defense. I've always had something in my heart for self-defense because of where I came from.
Right.
So I love the martial arts part, but my favorite part is self-defense.
Yeah.
I went to Blackwater and got trained by some of the best. I trained with SWAT. I am a Krav Maga certified. I'm a defense and tactics certified, all because I wanted the best of the best for self-defense.
Yeah.
So I can give you something. My goal is if you come through my class or my self-defense class, I want you to be able to use one thing immediately when you walk out my door.
Right.
It's a crazy world we're living in now.
Right.
So COVID came in. I thought, I'm going to put an app together. We're going to call it Tough Girls. And I'm going to go after women because I do a lot of women's self-defense.
Right.
Corporate, before COVID, I was doing corporate, hopping on planes, and just really empowering women. You're stronger than you think you are. Okay.
Yeah.
And our world's getting crazy. Human trafficking is out of control.
Right.
So I put this app together during COVID. I got 300 videos in this app.
Okay.
And the purpose of the app was to give it away. Just to give it away.
Yeah.
And it's all my elbows. And I teach kickboxing. I'm kickboxing certified. And so I do all these programs. Let's put it all in an app. And let's just give it away.
Yeah.
Okay. People who want to sign up. So where the 382 comes from, there's 382 women and children ages 14 to 44 that are trafficked every single day.
Oh my
in our
goodness.
nation. So the reason I'm using that number, so this all kicks off in January.
Yeah.
So when people sign up and they decide, hey, I'm going to be one of your level, we call them founding members.
Yeah.
It's like $19 a month. You're a
Yeah.
founding member. I'm going to give you the coolest stuff on the planet.
How do people sign up for that?
I'll just go to the Tough Girls.
ToughGirls382.com.
Yep. You're going to see $19 a month.
Yeah.
And what you're going to get in January, you're going to get my app, 300 videos for free. I'm going to give you the app.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a 28-day fit challenge.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you a fit journal. And the reason of it is I want to help create fit, focused, and fearless women. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be fit, not like an Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of fit. Okay?
Yeah.
But you got to be able to get up and move.
Right.
If you want to enjoy life, you got to move.
Right.
All right. So you got the fit part, and then we have the focused.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep your focus on God and what He wants you to do,
Yeah.
the fearless will come, because He says, "Fear not, I am with you." So I want to use His words poured into this program. And if I can get 382 people, that's all I want, out of the millions that are out there, to be founding members of this program, okay? At $19 a month, it costs $2,500 to extract somebody from human trafficking.
Wow.
We've partnered with OUR, Underground Railroad,
Yeah.
okay, to pull them out. So I'm going to give them.
So you can, I already see where this is going. I'm already getting excited. Like, I'm going to have to talk to my wife about this. But all right. So you can get fit, get defense, help women that are trafficked, and get them out. And you're doing all of this for $19 a month.
Yes.
And all of this is because you just want to help women be strong.
I want them to be strong, and I want to get them out of human trafficking because they were pulled into it. It's a $99 billion business right now, and we need to change this. We need to step up. And I believe that God has given me all these tools. I fight against bullying. I wrote a book. Fight that.
Dude, I just had a brilliant idea. Like, when you get this done, like, I got to interview some of the people after they get done with your class.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, and we could get some of those success stories and we can pop that up and get that done. That's really great, man. So we got about 60 seconds. So is there anything that you wanted to say or make sure that people knew about your story or what you're doing, or any way that someone can help, or whatever you want? You got 60 seconds to.
Boy, I would say we call it APC.
Okay.
A means awareness. Always be aware of your surroundings. Okay. P is prepare. Think of what if. What if this happens? What if that happens? What would I do? And C is confident. Be confident. You are stronger than you think you are. You're a gift from God. He gives you all the tools you need right inside you. Okay. Just look inside. And you got to tell yourself, if a bad guy or a situation comes, nothing is going to stop you from getting home to your family. Nothing. Be confident in your abilities. And again, I guess all I would say is you're stronger than you think you are. And God bless.
Well, Master Lyle, we are finished up on our time. If this is your first time, you got to help us by liking and subscribing so people can get this information so we can help them out. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And if you know anyone that's struggling with alcohol or addiction, have them go UCANMichigan.com or check out spiritualwarfareunit.com. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.
stay this way.